It's time for the main event. It's the Tszyu Show.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, it's your boy Dave in the 702 coming back at you for a Thursday night fight weekend preview known as the Tszyu Shine. Usually you guys know, you hear me say, joining me all the way from the city of brotherly love, Philly, Irish, Tszyu Evo. Now I just got off the phone with Tszyu via text message. He will be joining me right around 8 o'clock, hopefully sooner than later. Shout out to SB, thank you so much for joining us in the live, and shout out to everybody that will be watching on replay. I hope everybody's spring is going okay, guys. This is not Tszyu, obviously, in that picture, guys. I know that a lot of you are probably, just as nervous as I am as what's going on around in the country. Are we headed for a recession? Or what's going on with our 401ks? What's happening to the stock market? Will we be able to afford groceries? Will we be able to afford the dollar store, which is now $1.25, when probably on its way to be $1.50? Shout out to Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Salute. Good to see you in here. A really good weekend for boxing fans in store this weekend. We have the return of former 154-pound champion Tszyu fighting in Australia, and that card is going to be televised for everybody that has Amazon Prime. Speaking of Amazon, today was a great day to buy Amazon stock, guys. Especially if the rumors are that Amazon is trying to make a bid to buy TikTok. They always say buy the dip, buy the dip. Well, if Amazon buys TikTok, man, I can only see good things coming from that. So anyways, joining me soon will be Tszyu. Shout out to Sin City Syndicate. We need a recession. The recession, sometimes it resets things, right? It's always a good opportunity for people, if you have a stable job, stable income, to maybe snatch up a house at a lower price. I know I've done that. Not once, but twice. I've been through a lot of recessions, guys. And all I can say is that be a good saver. Learn to save. Learn to pinch pennies, because unfortunately, when I worked in Silicon Valley, guys, before coming to Las Vegas, I seen a lot of layoffs, and we went through a lot of layoff scares. Eventually, they'll catch up to you. But if you you pinch your pennies and you know how to save and you prepare for rough times ahead, I hope that everybody's going to get through this. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, guys, Tszyu will be joining me shortly. I hope everybody's spring is going well. It's been nice and windy. Lots of dust kicking up in the city of Las Vegas. And this weekend, Top Rank is back with another show, guys. And I actually heard extremely good things about the show last weekend. The Michaela Mayer show at the Fontainebleau sold extremely well. I was on the phone with one of the good friends of the show, Fonzie. You guys have probably seen him in my chat, and you probably seen him in one of my Fight Night preview or Fight Night videos that I've vlogged before. But Fonzie and I were talking about going to the fight this Saturday at the Palms Casino. Top Rank is going to do it back to back. They really concentrating on putting on some really good quality cards before this ESPN television deal may expire. And again, that television deal should be expiring potentially, I think, June or July. That's right. SB says, take a quick minute to hit that like. Let's get more people in the chat. The Top Rank deal with ESPN is going to be expiring, and it looks like, ESPN, they've got money problems themselves, and it looks like they're giving up on televising boxing. But again, this weekend, PBC, it looks like it's going to be starting at 7 o'clock Pacific time, 10 o'clock Eastern. We'll be able to watch Tszyu against Joey Spencer. Joey Spencer's only loss comes off of Jesus Ramos Jr. from Arizona, someone that we've interviewed here a couple of times on our channel. And he's going to be making the trip down under. And he had a lot to say this week because he was concerned. We just saw Keith Thurman put on quite a good show down under. And Joey Spencer was a little concerned. Hey, look, I'm coming all the way down here from the U.S. Against all odds. And it looks like every judge that's going to be, for this fight is Australian. And he had some issues with that. And they've quickly resolved that. They've actually resolved that. There will be some international judges. Because let's just say Joey Spencer does the unthinkable, can pull off a decision win performance, gets 7 and beat Tszyu 7 rounds of 5. He didn't think he'd get the nod. And most of the time, you guys know that when a fighter goes to someone else's backyard, they almost never get the nod in a close fight. We just saw that. We see that all the time. We see that week in and week out in the sport of boxing. Boxers not getting the nod. They go into someone's backyard. And Joey Spencer just wanted to make sure that, hey, the odds weren't stacked against him as they are already, and that there would be international judging. So luckily, that's going to go ahead. We've got a tremendous card on Top Rank. It will be on ESPN Plus. I do not know if it's going to be on regular ESPN, which would be free cable, like it was for the Michaela Mayer card. But that is a great fight. We also have some heavyweight action from the UK. Joe Joyce, once a heavyweight contender on the verge of a title opportunity. He's fighting for dear life in a Crossroads fight as he's getting old. He's approaching 40 years old against Filip Hrgovic. That's going to be an epic heavyweight fight that I might be able to watch before heading over. It looks like we're going to go to the Palms Saturdays, guys. Speaking of the Palms Casino, speaking of recessions and whatnot, this fight, we checked. Fonzie and I were checking, and it looks like the Top Rank is nearly sold out for the Richard Torrez. Shout out to everybody from California. Richard Torrez, the silver Olympic medalist, making his debut as the headliner against former Italian Olympian himself, Guido Vianello. Guido Vianello coming off a very impressive heavyweight win over Makhmudov. This big dude Makhmudov had been fighting on the Saudi cards. And that got him an opportunity to fight in a headline opportunity against Richard Torrez of California, guys. Top Rank, signed a deal with the guy that beat Richard Torrez as well. I think Jalalov will be fighting on the Janibek card. I'm going to pour myself a little whiskey waiting for Drew. What's going on, Drew? Hit the show. You said 8 o'clock, homie. Because I really don't want to do the show by myself again, guys. The numbers weren't so good without you on Monday. So I really need you guys' help to make sure we share and get this show cracking on social media, guys. All right, let's talk about some of the things that happened this week really quickly while I wait for Drew. Some things that might not appeal to him. Let me just double check my messages here. You guys see my joke here, obviously. I hope we start making shit in America again. But the idea of making Nikes here, it just seems so far gone that Americans are going to sit there and sew clothes and make T-shirts and, head back to the factories like post-World War II. So that's just me joking here, guys. But this week in Las Vegas, women's boxing, the WBC is here all the way from Mexico doing a women's summit. And a lot of women boxing stars were here. So a lot of people still here for that. Come on, TV, don't go off. All right, guys, let me get some of these things out of the way. Big news if you're a fan of boxers from yesterday. Well, I think Caleb Plant is still a very effective former world champion. And Jermall Charlo, a former champion too. This was announced this week. It's going to happen. May 31st, the weekend after the big holiday weekend. We're going to get another fight at the Mandalay Bay. Caleb Plant versus Mexico's Armando Resendiz and Jermall Charlo versus Thomas Lamana. Both of their opponents in this one here. This one's going to be, we're going to really find out what kind of star power Caleb Plant and an older name like Jermall Charlo still have. Jermall Charlo recently moved up to 168 on a David Benavidez card and fought the older brother of David Benavidez, Jose Benavidez. That fight sucked, guys. Seriously, that fight sucked. But Jermall Charlo still finds himself an undefeated fighter, once a champion at 154 and 160, and with a clean, unblemished record, still undefeated. Both of their opponents, unfortunately, for a headlining event at the Mandalay Bay, are pretty much journeymen, guys. I mean, they're ranked at, if they are ranked, they're ranked at the lower echelon. Shout out to Wally Coyote. Appreciate you, man. I got my whiskey here. Kentucky bourbon whiskey. Plant needs to smoke Berlanga. Lots of interesting shit going on around that too, guys. Caleb Plant fighting Armando Resendiz, guys. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Both of these are total mismatches, guys. So I wonder how well it's going to sell. because the Fundora fight that just took place at the Mandalay Bay, I've had some people tell me that it looked like there was no more than 4,500 people in a venue that almost sits 11 to 13,000 people. Mandalay Bay, the home of women's NBA boxing, women's NBA basketball. When there's 4,000, 5,000 seats sold, it looks bad. It looks really bad. Shout out Fonzie. I was just saying that this card right here on May 31, we're going to see if Caleb Plant still has it in him. He is a local Las Vegas guy, married to Jordan Plant. I believe they're expecting another baby. Congratulations to them. We're going to see if he still has fan appeal in the city of Las Vegas, because he has. And actually, these two guys have a lot of beef. These two, Jamal Charlo will be the co-man, I'm sure. But Jamal Charlo and Caleb Plant have a very long history of having a beef. You guys might recall that Jamal Charlo, leading up to a fight backstage somewhere, slapped the shit out of Caleb Plant, or I don't know I forget who slapped who. I think it was Jamal Charlo who slapped him. They've got a bad blood between these two, and I think it looks entirely like PBC is going to try to promote this fight between these two guys, using this as the launching point. They already have a beef. But speaking of, like Wile E. Coyote said, man, Edgar Berlanga is looking for his next big fight. And that fight he just had was a complete, disgusting mismatch, man. He fought a Puerto Rican guy who had been locked up, who did 10 years in prison, comes out of prison. I guess he must have blown up. He must have gotten ridiculously fat, because when he got back to boxing, he had two small fights that, nobody heard of the guy. He gets 2 victories coming out of prison, but his whole entire body. Okay, thank you, a Boogie616. Shout out to Boogie616. I see you new in the chat. Appreciate you. Plant slapped Charlo for disrespect. And a lot of people love Caleb Plant because he handles his business. He stands on business. I particularly like that about him. They have a big bad blood between these two guys. But listen, Edgar Berlanga is soon to be promoterless. He might be trying to knock on the door of PBC. He's already been dismissed from Top Rank, and Edgar Berlanga wanted to make sure that everybody knows. Let me find what he said, because he had a lot to say. He always has a lot to say, Edgar Berlanga, about the opponent. And this is the thing that I don't understand. We just saw Edgar Berlanga fight, and I don't think he has any room to talk. Here he has a comment. Okay, this is Edgar Berlanga on his Instagram. At the Sweet Hands, Plant was talking. Now he's fighting a prospect that's not ranked and has 2 losses. You're a fucking disgrace to boxing, man. It's fucking sad. Do I have to remind you guys? Do I still got the picture of the guy that Edgar Berlanga fought recently? I'm looking to see below me if I still got the picture of the guy, because that was something else. He's talking shit about quality of opponents. Aside from Canelo Alvarez on Berlanga's resume, I really don't know. Here's the records. It's very interesting. At least Caleb Plant has 23 wins, 2 losses. 2 losses coming off of course, Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez, 2 of the best in the division, if not the best in the division. And Edgar Berlanga's 1 sole loss coming to Canelo Alvarez. Berlanga's good at taking a beating, says Wile E. Coyote. Yeah, he took 12 solid rounds from Canelo Alvarez. He went on basically a pat your back congratulations tour over that. And it begs the question, what's going to happen between this potential collaboration between PBC and Top Rank? Now Bob Arum is more open than ever. Apparently, they've had some meetings this week. Very exciting stuff. That could potentially lay out a whole series of mega fights between stars from PBC and Top Rank. Both of these promoters know that if they're going to be competitive against Turki Ali Sheik and Dana White's new promotional boxing vehicle, which is going to launch their first fight in September, the super showdown between Canelo and Terrence Bud Crawford, PBC and Top Rank are going to have to work together, and they've got some fantastic ideas. Let me just give you guys a rundown of some of the fights they could have. Where's my co-host? 15 minutes into the show. Let me just quickly check. All right. Drew said he's updating his iPad. And already my voice is kind of shot, man. Damn. BK chicken sandwiches are bomb, bro. Burger King? This fight is coming up. Like I said, but there's other really, really interesting fights. PBC is going to come back. They've announced the May date. This is not official yet, but it looks like, checking my sources, that this fight is in the works. Like, it looks like T-Mobile Arena has already been booked. Okay. So you can mark this on your calendars, almost as good as done that in June 21st. It's going to be hot as shit in Vegas then too, guys. Lamont Roach is going to get an opportunity to avenge that, dubious loss on his record. Almost everybody that watches this show, I'm sure, thinks Lamont Roach won that fight, and they're going to run it back. That's going to give an opportunity for Gervonta Tank Davis, should he win again. This is Vegas. The A side always seems to win in Vegas. But we're talking about that PBC and Bob Arum met up this week, and I'm pretty sure Drew would be really excited about this one. All right, Drew. Let me add you here. What's good, everybody? Oh, shit. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that little fellow. Drew's dog making the guest appearance today. The numbers got to skyrocket, Drew. Come on. Let's get this shit up to 20 people in the room. Come on. Give it up for Drew's dog. Who, Drew, has he been keeping you from coming on the show? He's been a bad puppy. He's been a bad puppy. Drew, what's the dog's name again?
Dollar.
What's that again?
Dollar.
Dollar?
Yeah.
Like dollar bill?
Yep.
Shout out to Dollar. Little terrier dog. He's doing good, man. He's chill. Check that shit out, man. We got another mascot. Somehow, if my dog would come back, my dog used to walk around, guys. My dog is 17 years old. Shout out to my dog for still kicking ass. She outlived all my dogs, man. Little dogs are great, man. Drew, I'm talking about PBC and Top Rank.
Buddy.
PBC and Top Rank have been doing a lot of talking, Drew, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be excited about this one, but it looks like they're going to potentially set up the super fight that has been evading Lomachenko for a very long time, and now I'm talking about Tank versus Lomachenko as being one of the biggest fights that Top Rank and PBC can do together. What are your feelings about that? I haven't heard shit if Lomachenko's injury is gone or what, but looks like Tank will be busy fighting a rematch, and then potentially towards the end of the year we could get a super mega unification.
Yep. We'll see. We gotta see how everything goes. Everything can fall apart fast,
Yeah, I like what I'm hearing though, Drew. From what I'm reading, Top Rank and their representatives are extremely enthusiastic. But even before that one takes place, Xander Zayas, their big Puerto Rican 154-pound star at Top Rank, he's now the mandatory. And it doesn't seem like there's any pushback from Sebastian Fundora. And it seems like, it looks like his promoter and his managers, everybody knows his manager, also the manager, David Benavidez. But it looks like they're not opposed to working with Top Rank for this fight. So we could be getting that one before anything, as well as Teofimo Lopez potentially fighting Gary Antoine Russell. 140-pound unification there. I mean, the unifications that are potential, man, there's a lot of them. I'm really excited about that. So, yeah. What do you think is the first one they work with?
It depends. It depends. Like, what fight's easiest to make for them and everything. You got Teofimo, he's unpredictable and everything. So you don't know what you can do with that. And the main question is Eddie Hearn still working with Turkey Al-Sheikh? Since there's all this, we're going to make a new boxing league.
Yeah, and you still can't even count out MVP. MVP just signed a bunch of women's champions or potential. Alicia Baumgartner just signed to Jake Paul MVP. He's still out there going to be putting on shows, boxing shows. it looks like all of those guys are going to have to team up and unite to go against Dana White's TKO boxing promotions, whatever they end up calling it, Drew. I, for one, I've been giving it a lot of thought over the past few weeks. I don't know how you guys in the chat feel, but looking at the pay structure being very similar to something like not Top Rank, but the UFC model they do, dude, I can't foresee how they're going to attract mega stars. I think they're going to attract the people that could not get signed to Top Rank, Golden Boy, Matt. They're going to get they're going to have to be aggressive with some prospects that they think could be world champions. But because of the pay structure, why would you sign yourself up for that if you're an independent contract? I mean, it's not like Dana White's offering health insurance, is he?
I don't know, but tell you the truth, I'm not gonna go and be a prospect, knowing I can probably make close to 200,000 and then you're only paying me 500. You're only paying me 25,000.
Yeah, the pay structure for that is going to be very low. I think the PBC thing with Top Rank is going to be a great thing, and the sooner they start working together, the better, to be honest, because they're going to need to get ready to compete with TKO starting in September. The first mega showdown between Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez will almost 100% be put together between Turkey and Dana White on Netflix. Damn, that's going to be a busy weekend. We're just by the way, Drew, just 1 month away today from the super fight, Turki Ali Sheik. Speaking of that, we are 1 month away from the super fight that nobody, unless you get an invitation, will get to watch. I'm talking about Friday, Ryan Garcia versus Rolando Romero, just a month away. The return of Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. The return of Teofimo Lopez. I mean, we're just exactly 1 month away from that big New York City card to kick off Cinco de Mayo weekend. And who's going to get to watch? Dude, the shit's going to have porta potties out there. And then Saturday, of course, Canelo Alvarez fights William Skull. I don't know if you saw this, Drew. This was very interesting. Conor Benn has been preparing by sparring some very big guys, including Surachi, the Italian-French fighter that knocked out Jaime Murguia. He's also sparring with William Skull in preparation for his big UK pay-per-view. Did you see the fucking news, dude? That pay-per-view is going to be broadcast in the US as a pay-per-view. Conor Benn pay-per-view in the US. A lot of people on social media not happy about that. Not happy about this UK fight being a pay-per-view. A super pay-per-view. What do you think? 23? I think it said $23.99, $24.99 to watch that. I mean, should it be a pay-per-view at all?
No.
Oh, I know it's going to be a big fight in the UK, guys. Probably if boxing is still alive and well like it is, I think it is in the UK. It should do very well as far as a live gate, but a pay-per-view. Let me show you guys this again. Yeah. Conor Benn, Chris Eubanks Jr., pay-per-view. I think it's going to be a fun fight. I'm excited to see this fight, to be honest. I think it's a fight where Conor Benn's going to regret moving up in weight. And like that baby daddy, what's his name? The guy who just had a baby with Ebony Bridges. I think he's going to regret it. Yeah, it's going to end like Kell Brook did, moving up in weight from welterweight up to middleweight, man. I don't think he's going to handle moving up in weight. He didn't look good at 154. He fought a Mexican guy at 154 in his first fight here in Florida when he came back from the suspension of PEDs. And he didn't look good at 154, and he's moving up to what weight? I mean, it's crazy, dude. I think it's going to be one of those weight jumps that set him back big time in his career. But again, it's a big money fight. Maybe he thinks he's going to get a Canelo fight. To be honest, he'd be lucky if he fight Ryan Garcia. Drew, I don't think most people who watch the show regularly have seen this soft side. This dog has softened you up. Drew's ready to be a daddy. He's ready to be a daddy now. Did you hear about this, Drew? This is completely unrelated to boxing, but there's been a lot of bad news, but we've had some good news here. in Las Vegas, I just found out that transgender athletes will be prohibited legally from competing against the opposite sex. So it's going to work both ways. Actually, some good effing news. Government doing something right, Drew. No more transsexuals running track against girls or smoking them in the swimming pool. And thank you, Nevada government, for doing something right. I don't know where California is on that stance, but some good news in the sports world. Are you upset by any chance, Drew, about the baseball bats, the Yankees baseball bats, the torpedo bats?
I've really been following that. I've just been following the Phillies.
Man, damn bad. When they play 5-1, when they play you guys and they hit 15 home runs in one game, man, everybody should be upset about the torpedo bats. All right, Drew. Really quickly, man, I didn't get to ask you on Monday, but your thoughts on Michaela Mayer performance. Was it better than the first one against?
Yeah, one game plan by Sarah Bryan. I just really, like, tell you the truth, I can't really be entertained, and I'm not trying to be like, oh fuck no, well, like down on it and everything. It just was not entertaining to me, the fight. Like, it's not an entertaining fight the second time around. I really think that, like, I think women's boxing is going downhill.
Really? You don't think it's getting better?
I don't think it's going up. I think it's going downhill.
Okay.
Like I like people say, oh, should we need to go 3 rounds? No, you don't. The women, regardless, cannot get knockouts.
Yeah, and, incidentally, speaking of, you see all the women's champions that showed up this week in Las Vegas through the women's WBC Women's Boxing Summit. A lot of contenders and champions, including the newly crowned Tiara Brown was there, or is here. I think that's still going on right now. You really think, anyways, well, Michaela Mayer, she said she's got her eye on unification against Price, and even talking about she would fight Shields. She wants to fight Shields at some point, and, she's now at heavyweight. You remember Cyborg, Chris Cyborg, the UFC women's champ? Yeah. She's been roasting Clarissa Shields all week, man. I guess Clarissa Shields, she's thicker than a Snicker now. She's a heavyweight. She's the heavyweight women's champ. And, what's her face? Chris Cyborg was like, shit, drop the 30 pounds of fat and fight me finally. So, I don't know. Maybe you're right, Drew. Maybe you're wrong. I thought women's boxing should be improving, man. Should be on the minds of more boxing fans. Alicia Bumgarner signing with Jake Paul. Your thoughts?
Tell you the truth, it's not like really. It's not that big news to me. Like,
all right,
I just don't see it.
Well, Netflix is going to carry Taylor Serrano 3 for free, and it looks like it's going to only be a women's card on Netflix. We'll really find out how well women's boxing is doing when it gets that big opportunity to be the main event on Netflix for free. That's coming up sooner than later, to be honest, Drew. What do you think about that?
I could care less about it. They're probably going to rob Serrano. Serrano's probably going to beat her ass again. They're going to probably rob her again for the third time. I'm sorry, she's been robbed twice and everything. Like, she clearly lost the fight, Katie Taylor, both times. And, like, it's just, she got robbed twice. And like, both times you see her with the headbutts and everything. She's like, we all know I'm Irish. Let's put that out there right now. Cool. And, like, Katie Taylor's I'll be the first to tell you, Katie Taylor's a dirty fighter. She uses her head. This is not in Chantel. She did against Chantel Cameron.
She lots of cuts.
She did against McCaskill.
Who's retired now? Yeah, who's retired now?
Like, it's dirty tactics that she does, and the Serrano team has every right to complain. but like the judges, I think the judges. I don't know how the hell judges get it wrong twice and everything, but I think this was more clear when she beat her. That Serrano beat her more clearly this time. This time around and everything, and like if we look at I only gave her in the last fight. I only gave Katie Taylor 2 rounds. Like the most she won was 3 rounds in that fight, and they still like one of them had it wide for Katie Taylor. I'm like, how? And I'm like, how can you have her winning on a card that wide? I'm like, and that's right. Oh, you owe me a fight in Ireland. Why the fuck would I fight you in Ireland if I got robbed twice in my country? You think I'm gonna get robbed? I know I'm gonna get robbed in Ireland and everything. Like I thought Chantel beat her both times. So I think Katie got. I think Katie lost a couple more fights in her career. I think she got gifted decisions and everything. Like Katie, if we're gonna look at it like this, Katie's on the back end of her career, but Katie always had a stamina issue. And there's someone to put it out there and bang for the whole fight and hurt her, that is Serrano. Like Serrano's gonna have to knock her out. So even though I did pick Katie Taylor in that last fight and everything because I thought she did better, I thought she did worse in that fight.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Amanda Serrano has, but the only saving grace, and I know it's not a consolidation, is they've made more money fighting each other than any other women combined in the sport of boxing. They've made the record amount of money, and they're going to get to do it again. Now, the most important thing to most prize fighters is the purse, how much you're going to make, and pay-per-view numbers, Drew. And this is juicy. I know Drew loves to talk about pay-per-view numbers, so let's do it. This is very interesting. Turkey Alashik's The Last Crescendo, Dmitry Bivol versus Beterbiev rematch, generated 340,000 pay-per-view buys. I believe that's international. I don't know if is that international or was that domestic US. Either way, for such a stacked card, even if that is just for the US, Drew, for such a stacked card, they had American boxing stars like Shakur Stevenson on it. 340,000 is really, really bad for such a stacked card. And the price was cheap.
And the thing about you're paying a subscription, first of all, and then you're paying that price. But here's the thing that I don't get, and I know he's probably clickbaiting. Like the dude Two-Tone, the co-host of the Boxing Voice, like he's saying that it's the sole reason why he did it was because of Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson for the late replacement. And like nobody gives a fuck about Shakur Stevenson. First off,
unfortunately, I don't really see. There's some great talented boxers that were on that card, but I don't think any of them are pay-per-view stars in their own right. Like Dmitry Bivol could not sell a U.S. pay-per-view. He did because he fought Canelo and he beat Canelo resoundingly in that fight. But I don't think you could say Dmitry Bivol is going to be a pay-per-view attraction who's going to fill up a stadium in Las Vegas, or Beterbiev, who had all this time with Top Rank. He was in Canada. Yes, he could sell out a stadium in Canada, but pay-per-view attraction. Shakur Stevenson, a pay-per-view attraction. Shakur Stevenson is. He turned so many people off when he got prime time on ESPN. Please, guys, come on. That's all cap. He's capping, man. Two-Tone, what's his name? That's all cap. I saw that fucking meme on Twitter that Shakur Stevenson sold it. No, the entire card, everybody on that. You put all those great boxers and it only generated 340,000. It just reaffirms the idea that, and even Dana White is starting to talk about it, that pay-per-view that people are tired of paying for pay-per-view UFC and pay-per-view boxing events. And as we approach a potential recession where people are going to have even less discretionary fuck-off cash, excuse my language, they're going to get worse. The numbers for pay-per-views are going to get even worse for the rest of the year. That's an easy ass prediction to make.
Thank God that the Senate voted to block Trump's tariffs on Canada today.
I saw something about that. I didn't completely follow up. I don't know if you guys are following it. I mean, it's something. It's something because
and two of the Republicans that voted against it were Trump's biggest allies last term.
Yeah, I did see that, Drew. And we're gonna find out in real time in the next 30 to 90 days, his cockamamie ideas, if they're going to be successful or be a flop and put this country in even more economic dire situations. And it affects the sports of boxing, guys. Look, Fountain Blue had a small, the Fountain Blue place last week, the Top Rank put on a show, only seats about 4,000 people, and it was nearly sold out. And this weekend, I was just telling Fonzie, man, it looks like they're going to sell out the Palms Casino. Also only holds 35 to 4,000 people. But when you start talking about you're going to sell T-Mobile, 18,000 plus, Mandalay Bay, 11,000, MGM Grand, 13,000, and they're half full. People can't afford to go to sporting events. Did you know, Drew, that the WWE thing coming to Las Vegas in just 19 days, 17 days, April 19th, that shit ain't sold out at Allegiant Stadium? It ain't sold out. Good to see you, Addy Meddy. Appreciate you. It's been a minute. Haven't seen you. We don't know how much that Canelo Skull pay-per-view will be. To be honest, I think we're going to be very lucky. My feeling is that it's going to be offered on Netflix for free. The executives at Netflix do want to do boxing shows. They're eyeing quite a few shows, including the Taylor Serrano 3. That's going to be free. And it looks like they're just going to give that fight to everybody for free. And what they did last time, which was genius for the Mike Tyson fight, was that they were offering a promotion for Netflix, like get your first month on Netflix for $7, which is ridiculous. They signed up thousands and thousands, millions, maybe even millions of subscribers who said, you know what? I want to watch this Tyson-Jake Paul fight. I'll pay $7 and then I'll just cancel the shit when I'm done. Netflix still made money off that. Hopefully we're going to get that fight for free. But actually going to a sporting event, actually going to the WWE's biggest wrestling event, that costs a lot of money, man. I can't even imagine being a family of four who wants to, the whole family wants to see wrestling at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Like, what is that going to set you back? That is not sold out. Smaller shows, I think Top Rank is on it, Drew. Let's talk about this weekend. Let's get into it. And some of these prize predictions, let's get into maybe some parlay talk. We'll look at the odds on DraftKings. This one's under the radar, but I really did enjoy Joe Joyce's heavyweight run until it looked like he's washed up and one-dimensional, and it just went all bad. Joe Joyce went from being a contender to being on the verge, being in a Crossroads fight. This weekend, he faces former number one ranked heavyweight Hrgovic in the UK. Not a lot of traction on this one, Drew. It's a do or do. It's one of those fights where, I think if Joe Joyce loses this one, he may want to contemplate retirement. Who do you think is going to win this fight?
I'll put my money on Joyce because I think Hrgovic is very. I question his chin. He has a very questionable chin. And I'm gonna pick Joyce. I think that he's gonna move down Hrgovic in the later round, in the middle rounds, and things gonna end like 7 or 8.
Yeah, I think we'll all get a chance if you have DAZN, if you have the Fire Stick, whatever you do, you might be able to catch this in the midday if you're on Pacific Standard Time, or maybe in the late afternoon if you're on the East Coast. But I think this is going to be a really fun heavyweight matchup. The Top Rank card is a heavyweight matchup. It's going to be really entertaining again. So let's move on to this big card right here at the Palms Casino in Las Vegas. And like I said, guys, I checked, and this one is doing extremely well ticket sales wise. There's not that many seats left for it, and which is a surprise to me. This is the first time a headliner event for the Olympic silver medalists from California, Richard Torrez, I put it up there, Drew. Can Richard Torrez be the next Mexican-American heavyweight champion? Only Andy Cruz has ever done that. Top Rank really believes it. He's going up against Guido Vianello. Guido Vianello, Italian Olympian himself, Drew. That's the main event. Lots of other good ones, too. Co-main event features, speaking of Mexican Olympian, Lindolfo Delgado, 140-pound contender versus, he used to be signed to Top Rank, Elvis Rodriguez, the Dominican fighter. Only lost one in his past, I think, 6 fights. This one is going to be fireworks, guys. You do not want to miss the co-main event. This will be on ESPN. Lindolfo Delgado has been preparing with Giovanni Santillana as his primary sparring partner at Robert Garcia in Moreno Valley at the Robert Garcia camp. This is for the IBF. You ready for this? IBF and WBC 140-pound title eliminator, dude. Whoever wins this fight is going to be number one mandatory to 2 guys. The 2 guys. This is going to matter. This really effing matters. Also on the card, Abdullah Mason. He may or may not be the best prospect future contender at Top Rank, 135 pounds. I'm curious. Abdullah Mason, Drew, if you had to pick between Fernando Vargas' son, Emiliano Vargas, and Abdullah Mason, both guys around 135. I think Emiliano is now fighting at 140. Emiliano Vargas just announced he'll be on the Cinco de Mayo card, on the undercard of the Inoue. If you had to pick one right now, Drew, if Top Rank said, fuck it, I'm going to have Abdullah Mason fight Emiliano Vargas, who wins that fight?
Abdullah Mason by knockout.
A lot of people feel that, man. That's going to be a fantastic in-house fight when it happens. Shout out to V. Good to see you in the chat. Fonzie says Hispanics have been eating their Wheaties since Chris Arreola, then Andy Ruiz, and now Richard Nacho Libre Torres. Does it really look like Nacho Libre to you? Does he?
Oh, man.
By the way, guys, Guido Vianello, he lost a close one to Efe Ajagba. And it looked like maybe his career was going to go down the tubes. But then he beats that guy Makhmudov. Remember that? Drew, what are you doing? Dog tricks? You got to give Guido Vianello some props on that. No, I didn't see him beating Makhmudov. That guy had been putting on some impressive performances on these Saudi Arabian cards. He beats him, and now he gets an opportunity. Olympian versus Olympian, of course. I did a little digging. 2016, Guido Vianello from Rome, Italy, the Italian Olympian, did not medal. He did not medal. Then again, Richard Torrez is just a silver medalist. We've talked about this over and over, Drew. Richard Torrez, 6'3", 6'2", maybe on a good day. Kind of like, what did Andy Ruiz? What'd you call Andy Ruiz? He didn't have a nickname for Andy Ruiz, huh? He's a smaller one guy, but he throws a lot of power shots. Does Richard Torrez Jr. A lot of power shots. Uses his leverage really well. It's only a 10-rounder. Only a 10-rounder. In fact, it looks like, is it going to be? The Lindolfo versus Rodriguez fight, the co-main, can't be a 10-rounder. I'm looking at that because it is an eliminator. So I'm going to presume that's going to be the 12-rounder. Abdullah Mason, probably only 8 rounds. That fight kicks off early, guys. There's going to be, I think the doors open at 3 o'clock. They'll start televising most of it on ESPN Plus, and then the main event looks like showtime starts at 7 o'clock. So let's go quickly to DraftKings. I appreciate everybody. V asks, how do we feel about the Ryan Garcia fight being the main fight against, I'm presuming you're talking about Rolando Romero, and that's exactly 30 days away. What are you doing that weekend, V? Are you going to have a fight weekend party? Because every day for Cinco de Mayo weekend is going to be a watch party, man. You got Friday night. You got all the big stars in New York City, Times Square. Saturday night, Canelo Alvarez, or Saturday, they're going to try to have that fight American time in Saudi Arabia. And then Sunday, In Las Vegas, you have the monster Inoue, Emiliano Vargas. Like I said, just added Top Rank working with that card. It's going to be a heavy weekend, but they're just trying to do the numbers on that one. They think Ryan Garcia is the biggest star there. Obviously, the fight between him and Devin Haney had a lot of success, and they just think he's the star. Do I think he's the best fighter on that card? Hell no. I don't even know if he beats Teofimo Lopez. Does he? Does he, Drew? Does Ryan Garcia beat Teofimo Lopez at 140 if he actually made 140?
If he actually made 140?
Yeah, he didn't make 140. He made 143 twice. He has not fought at 140. If he did.
You know what? I probably would pick Ryan to beat Teofimo.
Okay.
I probably would pick him because I'll tell you the truth. If you look at it, I think he's bigger than Teofimo. Way bigger than Teofimo. And like, I don't think he's going to be able to dodge that hook all night. So I think, I don't know. I think if someone puts Teo in a dogfight, I don't think he's going to be able to respond good to it.
I hear you. I just took myself off here. Drew's showing everybody the new dog. If you just joined us, that's Drew's new dog. Dollar bill. Here's the main event, guys. Saturday, April 5th at the Palms Casino Resort. And I wanted to look quickly at the odds. So where's my DraftKings at? Donde está my DraftKings? Here we are. Not to forget, by the way, Top Rank is going to be showing a different card too from Kazakhstan. I didn't mention it, Drew, but Janibek is defending his world title, his 160-pound title in his home country. And it also features Jalalalov. Jalalalov has a contract with Top Rank, but he's barely fought on Top Rank. Who's Jalalalov? Well, he's the gold medalist that knocked out Richard Torrez Jr. in the Olympics. Not recently. He's knocked him out prior. They fought 2 times in the Olympics, and he knocked him out once before. The only guy who's ever gotten the best of Richard Torrez, not once, but twice. Just like Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz has gotten the best of who twice? And now Keyshawn Davis is the world champion. That's a big thing this weekend, guys. Speaking of Olympians, I'm telling you, we got Richard Torrez, a silver medalist. We've got a former Olympian, Lindolfo Delgado, also a Mexican medalist, I believe, Olympian, also the co-main event. You got Jalalalov, the gold medalist, on the undercard of the Janibek fight. I have no idea what time that fight is. That's taking place in Kazakhstan. That's going to go under the radar big time, Drew. So anyhow, looking at the odds for this card, Abdullah Mason versus Carlos Ornelas. Abdullah Mason, a negative 5,000 favorite. That ends in stoppage, if you ask me. What about you, Drew?
Stoppage.
Lindolfo Delgado versus Elvis Rodriguez. This one is really close, guys. This is going to be a very interesting fight. Again, a title eliminator for the WBC and IBF 140-pound championship. Veronica, you were asking about Ryan Garcia. I don't even know if Ryan could beat these two guys, to be honest, at 140. And these two guys deserve a title opportunity because whoever wins this fight is going to be the mandatory by 2 sanctioning bodies at 140 pounds. One of these guys could be in line to fight I don't know. Who holds the WBC belt? Alberto Puello? Alberto Puello of PBC? So this is another reason why Top Rank and PBC got to work together. Could be Elvis Rodriguez, and Elvis Rodriguez will laugh at Bob Arum and say, why the fuck did you cut me? You cut me, and look, I just beat your guy. Lindolfo Delgado, negative 150 favorite versus Elvis Rodriguez, plus 115. This one's a toss-up, man. This is going to be a toss-up. Elvis Rodriguez got a lot of pop. Lindolfo Delgado got a lot of boxing skill. You got a pick in this one, Drew?
Elvis Rodriguez.
Now, I'm going to say Giovanni Santillan. San Diego's been helping Lindolfo Delgado train, and all the guys that are at the Robert Garcia gym in Moreno Valley. I think it's going to be a close fight. And I've seen, and Fonzie was there, we've seen people get the wrong end of the stick at these Top Rank cards at the Palms. I'm talking about when 135-pound Murataya got the shaft. He got the nod, and Tevin Farmer got the shaft. That happened right at the Palms last year. I will not be surprised when Dolfo Delgado wins this by a decision, barely eking out a decision. Main event, Drew, also very close. Richard Torrez Jr., a negative 250 favorite versus Guido Vianello. Can Guido Vianello use his gifts, man? Can he use his long jab? Can he set the pace? Because, Richard Torrez is a little bit of a mauler. He fights low like Tyson. He gets a lot of leverage coming up low. If he lets his hands go, he's going to outwork Guido Vianello. But Guido Vianello beat Makhmudov, a big-ass dude. Who you got on this one?
Picking Guido.
Picking Guido for the upset. My wife is clapping right now. She's somewhere in the back saying good shit. Guido Vianello. Where if Fonzie, you're still in here, who do you got in this one? I think you call him what? What did you call Richard Torrez Jr.? Drew, Richard Torrez Jr. absolutely has to win this fight because it's going to be like the Baby Anderson situation, man. It's going to be such a massive step backwards. They were banking on Baby Anderson being the next American domestic heavyweight champion. And now Top Rank is hoping it's going to be Richard Torrez, man. This is going to be a major setback if he can't beat a fringe top 10 heavyweight contender. I got Richard Torrez outworking Guido Vianello on this one. We're going to disagree on those two right there. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to hit that like button. We got a little bit left in the show. We're going to try to end it by 9 o'clock. But very, very important. We got Jerome Boots Ennis coming up. We have, there's so much boxing this weekend. I forgot to say, guys, there is a Mexican potential star, welterweight star, who is headlining the Pro Box card. You guys have to watch the Pro Box card as well, even if you watch it on replay, because it's in Drew's back town, man. It's in your backyard, Drew. I'm surprised you're not going.
Yeah, I don't got the money to go there.
See, y'all, we got to get this channel popping, guys. We got to get this channel popping so I could say, here you go, Drew, investigative reporter, man. Go to this Pro Box card. Tell Paulie Malignaggi, get you on the guest list as media credential. Appreciate it, Via. Appreciate it so much. Coming up in just another week, you got the big fight. Welterweight unification, Jerome Ennis versus Emiliantis Stanionis in Atlantic City, Philadelphia, back in the house. Back to back, man. I know Atlantic City's like your backyard, where it's like your Vegas for people in Philadelphia. Just 30 minutes away? 45?
Yeah, it's like an hour.
It's like an hour to Atlantic City to gamble. Can you guys imagine? Can you imagine if you lived an hour away from Vegas? It'd be a shithole like Baker, but I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would love to live just an hour away from a major gambling resort town like Atlantic City.
Well,
that's coming up.
Really. I don't even go there really. I go all the way down, and it's like a 2-hour drive at most where I go to.
Yeah, Pro Box 2, guys, this Saturday. You got boxing in the midday. You've got Janabek on ESPN somewhere. And let's get to the last card, because this one, Drew, I'll let you unload on this one. But this one's going to be very, very interesting. On PBC, Amazon Prime. I might make it home in time to watch it. We'll see what happens. This one is going to be all the way down under, and it looks like it's going to have a late U.S. start time with the time difference. But I'm talking about the return of Tszyu, former champion, former big dog in the 154-pound division, taking on fringe contender Joey Spencer's one loss coming against Jesus Ramos Jr. on PBC. The battle of the top contenders at 154. I remember that fight very well, man. Jesus Ramos stopped Joey Spencer. Joey Spencer all week complaining about the judges. He said, I'm coming all the way down here, bro. Come on, man. All Australian judges. They did negotiate that, and they got an international panel of judges for the Australian fight. But will it even matter? And I put it there, Drew. I put it in our thumbnail. This is a effing Crossroads fight. Not for Joey Spencer, because I don't think people expect Joey Spencer to do the unthinkable. This is a Crossroads fight for Tszyu. Tell me it's not.
It is.
What would happen if he... what is going to happen if he loses 3 in a row? 3 in a row.
Oh, you'd be tired.
I want to be such a letdown for his dad, man. I was reading an article today, guys, that Tszyu in the fight against Bakhtar Murtazaliev, the guy that knocked him down 4 times in 3 rounds, that leading up to that camp in Las Vegas, as a matter of fact, because I believe he was preparing in Las Vegas, that he stopped every fucking sparring partner. And the Las Vegas is a great sparring town. They will not say who he stopped. They said he knocked out every sparring partner only to come in. And I've seen the interview with Tszyu, man. He said he was ridiculously overconfident coming into the Murtazaliev fight, and it worked against him, that the overconfidence worked against him. He actually said that he lost those fights on mistakes, very small mistakes, but mistakes that he recognizes. Is he going to overcome those mistakes that he made? Because they cost him dearly. For one, the mistake he made in March of 2024 was allowing his corner to let him continue when he had the biggest gash I've ever seen flowing down his head full of blood. He let his corner let him fight on. That was the mistake. The Murtazaliev fight, you made some serious strategic mistakes in early. And once he got hit with those power shots clean, fuck. Fundora broke him down, and Murtazaliev finished it. This is a must-win fight, guys. Tszyu's got to win this fight. He is a negative 800 favorite. Says here, April 5th, free on Prime. Amazon Prime. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Lots of boxing. Lots of boxing, man. Who do you got in this fight? Tszyu or the scrappy Joey Spencer?
I'm picking Tszyu by knockout. I'm probably going to pick him inside 3.
He's got a lot to prove. I'll be real with you. He's got a lot to prove. Joey Spencer's been stopped once. He does look really, really strong. I'm hoping that Joey Spencer's watched a lot of tape and see some things that Murtazaliev exposed in Tszyu and see if he can capitalize on them. But I think it's going to be rough. If he can go the distance against Tszyu, he may end up getting banged up like Brian Mendoza did. Brian Mendoza went down to Australia. Got beat up pretty bad. I think if Joey Spencer does make it out of the 12 rounds, that he's going to be banged up pretty hard. Never know. I find it almost impossible for Joey Spencer, though, to win a decision against Tszyu, especially in Australia. You cannot say Drew Evo is a hater for that one, man. You cannot say he's a hater. Tszyu by knockout, really?
Yeah. You gotta see him against fucking Ramos, fucking Spencer. Spencer looked clearly outmatched.
Yeah.
So, he was stopped. He was clearly outmatched from the start to finish, from first bell to last bell. He was clearly outmatched, and he hasn't really been active. He hasn't fought since that. So I don't know. It's just a bad thing. I really don't understand why hasn't this kid been active. Get him back on some confidence. Now you put him in there with Tszyu. That has the Crossroad fight that a lot of people predict this is going to be a knockout.
Yeah. Drew, I didn't get a chance to ask you. We didn't talk on Monday, man, but I talked about Tevin Farmer really quickly. I saw him fight at the Palms last year. I personally thought he got robbed in the Murataya fight. Murataya is obviously a darling of Top Rank. He didn't get the nod, and then he didn't get the nod in the very next fight against William Zepeda, one where I thought he won that fight too. People have been asking him all week. Tevin Farmer, 33 wins, 8 losses. Asking him is it time for you to retire? He came out Monday and let everybody know, people speculate about his eye. He has a lazy eye, and they speculate about if he has any conditions. He's like, look, man, I have Tourette's syndrome. My whole life I've had Tourette's syndrome. Now you guys know, all right? I have no neurological issues. I got the dog in me. Does Drew Evo think it's time for Tevin Farmer to retire? Does Drew Evo think he won last weekend?
No, I thought it was. I had it close though. I thought the last round was a knockdown in favor of Tevin Farmer, but I had it 115-113 Zepeda. But the first fight, I had Zepeda. I had Tevin Farmer winning 117-111.
Yeah, I had Tevin Farmer. I agree with you. Not that wide of a score, but I had him winning at least 7 rounds to 5. And in this one, I thought it was 8-4 for Zepeda. But then he got dropped. He got dropped in both fights. Tevin Farmer drops Zepeda back-to-back in 2 fights. And I just got to ask you, man, does he deserve a three-peat, a trilogy at some point with William Zepeda?
No.
No trilogy?
Nah, I don't think they want to make him fight Zepeda. I don't think they want to make him fight Farmer again. It just wasn't really a good experience for him, both fights.
Thank you to everybody that joined us today, man. We're going to come back on Monday night. Yeah, hey, Fonzie says the guy that was cool to me and had a bunch of losses was Gabe Rosado. Gabe Rosado always came to fight, even if he was outmatched. One of the best examples was the fight he had against Gennady Golovkin. I'll always remember that fight. And then he knocked the fuck out of Beck the Bully, who's still a 168-pound contender right now. Actually looks better than ever, Beck the Bully. Wait a minute, we just saw Beck the Bully fight. He didn't look that good. He didn't look good at all. Anyways, he does have that knockout. I agree with you on that. Lastly, Drew, Shakur Stevenson, he had some hand issues, but he did fight on that fight we talked about that sold, 340,000 pay-per-views. His hands look busted again, and William Zepeda is the winner. Are we going to get this fight anytime soon?
No. I think Oscar's protecting him.
Oh, shit, man. Come on, man. Make this fight happen this year. I'm Dave in the 702, guys. We're going to go to the fights. I think we're going to the fight Saturday. If so, we'll tell you all about it. Make sure you check the channel. We'll see if we can get any content going this weekend. Thank you, SB. Rosado always gave 100%. Absolutely agree with you. And that's why he's revered in the boxing community. And in fact, if Edgar Berlanga wants a fight, they've had some bad blood between them. That would have been a much better fight than the Puerto Rican guy coming out of prison, 10-year stint. Then Gabe Rosado would have given him a much better fight. And for Edgar Berlanga to be talking shit to Caleb Plant this week, you hear that, Drew? At the beginning of the show? Edgar Berlanga's talking shit about Caleb Plant's opponent, Joyce? Shaking my head. We'll be back on Monday, guys, with a recap of this amazing boxing weekend to come. We've got Drew. We'll do a preview next week of the big unification fight, 147, between Stanionis and Boots Ennis. We'll see you guys next week. Drew, we're out.